We are checking out the suit of swords and what that represents in the Waitsmith tarot deck. So then most of the other tarot decks have a lot in common with that deck. And then a lot of just the different representations that the wands have had associated with them throughout history. And the elemental representation for wands is fire. So I've got a candle ready to represent the fire element and invoke that energy for our study group. Okay, and I think, oh yeah, I see you, Laura. So you made it over. Perfect. Perfect.
Sorry.
No, you're fine, Drew. You are totally fine.
They just put it to carpet and people keep watching there.
Yeah, that's like walking on wet paint. You cannot do that. Okay. Time to light the candle and get started. Where did I put my lighter? There's one. So, like I was saying, the elemental association for wands is fire. So I lit our bed candle to go with that. And then for wands, for that whole suit, the main key or the main idea that you want to have associated with it is enterprise and distinction. So we'll kind of go, as we go through the cards, we'll see how that illustrates itself in the artwork. And so going from the table that I have available for you guys on Discord, we'll just go through some of the different representations first. Again, for wands, the main key, the main thing you want to remember is the enterprise and distinction. So every single card is going to have something to do with that, not necessarily negative or positive, but something to do with that. And then the English suit that's associated with it is clubs. The English suit is like the normal playing card suit. The French suit is trefoils. So trefoils is kind of like those little thin swords, kind of. So remember, pikes was for swords. So for this one, it's going to be trefoils. The Italian suit is batons. The German symbol is acorns. The season associated with it is summer. And the months would be June, July, and August. And then the fixed astrological sign that's associated with the entire suit of wands is Taurus. And then the element we already talked about is the element of fire. The cardinal point, like on the compass, is going to be pointing south for the wands. And then the sacred name, the sacred word is Yod, which is like the letter I. And the esoteric force that's associated with wands is the male active force. So like the, go-getting, initiating male active force is the esoteric force that's associated with it. And then the mythological creature associated is the salamander. The ancient Celtic association is spirit. So we already went through pentacles for Celtic association was body, swords was ego, so now we have wands for spirit for the ancient Celtic. And then for the activity for the alchemy of wands, it's Mercury, not the planet Mercury, but the element Mercury. And then the junction is intuition. So the junction I look at is kind of like the verb or the function, like the action word of what you associate with wands. So that's what we're looking at when we talk about intuition. And then the activity associated with the entire suit is fertility. The principle associated with it is substantiality. So for the principle, remember we looked at pentacles was perpetuation, and then swords was triality. So now for wands, we have substantiality. And for the human classes, that is sort of like the human personality type associated with it. We have, with the wands, it is the intellectual. So those are the different historical associations. I think it's really interesting that the personality type is the intellectual, but when we're thinking wands intellectual, it's not the same as like the thinking type intellectual that would be swords. It's the intuition type intellectual. That's the one that we associate with the wands. All right, do you guys have any thoughts on that or questions on any of it? And the main thing we want to think about is enterprise and distinction. So that's going to be our key, our main idea, main thought that we associate with the whole entire suit of wands. All right. So now that we have those things in mind, the different associations that go with the whole entire suit that we're going to be looking at, we can look at the individual cards. I have a cup. There's a cup. Okay. Oh yeah, sure. The wand. This is fluorite on my wand is fluorite on the bottom, and then it has a little amethyst, cabochon, and ametrine top cupcake for the top of it. Yeah, I like this also because it really, hi Vincent. How's it going? Really incorporates like the different elements too, with the not only the wand that symbolizes fire on its own, but the air and the earth element. Yeah, I like it. It's very nice. They're pretty pricey, but if you need one, I can get you one. Hopefully a little better than on Wednesday. I hope. I did not make it, no. I purchased it. Hi, Rosa. Aloha. Nice to see you. I purchased it. Okay. So we went through the different associations with wands, and it'll be back there. We can go over it again if you guys want to at any point. The, clubs, summer, Taurus, fire, spirit, the months, that intellectual personality type, more associated though with intuition, the fertility, activity, the south cardinal point, and then enterprise and distinction. That's going to be the one that you keep in mind as the main idea that's associated with the whole entire suit. Okay, so we'll go through the suit a little bit quickly and just kind of check out and see if we can notice some of the different elements that we were talking about that are associated with the suit. So the Ace of Wands, one of the things that I noticed, it's a very summertime landscape, but then also these so-called clouds that we've been seeing they look a little bit more like smoke in this one, similar to the air. So to me, it looks a little bit more like smoke, which would be associated with the fire element aspect of it. And then, I see a little bit of like a summertime aspect. Again, we have lots of like the season itself definitely looks like summertime. We've got some red down here in the coloring on the wall, and then he's got like some dark red colors that he's wearing, so that I would associate with the fire element. And then 3, again, a really red, brilliant red cape. So I would look at that as being fire related. And then it's like a desert. It again looks very hot, so possibly like summertime scene. The roof on this card, so the tops of it are red, and also the garbs of one of the people is red. The flowers are red. It definitely looks like it could easily be summertime in this one. So in this card, I would look at it almost as like the main person who perhaps we're supposed to associate with the 5 of Wands is the person who's wearing red. But even the person who doesn't have a red tunic, most of the other people have either red tights or red shoes. So I still see quite a bit of fire colors there with them, and definitely a warmer summertime type of month. The horse has red elements on the reins as well as the bridle, and then also the kind of it's almost like a brown, but you could call it a brown that's on the red side. A lot of the people in the background are wearing the red. Looks very like summer festival type oriented. A lot of these too, I get the like fertility type vibes where it's like a new venture beginning, things initially happening. And then this one too, the vibe of the timing at least definitely looks like summertime. He's got the reddish shoes, red pants. I would say also that the mood of the people in most of these cards looks pretty fiery in some way, either passionate or maybe even a little bit angry. So this one, I still see quite a bit of the summer elements in the Eight of Wands. And then the Nine of Wands, we can see he's got the red tunic again. And then the way that we're looking at these two, when we remember about the enterprise and distinction being the main theme that we're looking at, all of the people who are in these illustrations, they look like they have either they're in a positive or negative way really being affected by their status or changing kind of like their title in the society around them. So we've got that enterprise and distinction brought in. The Page of Wands has the fire element in his hat. And then the salamanders for the mythological creature are covering his tunic that he's wearing over the red colored other garments that he has on. Again, it looks like a very like hot and dry type of time. And then same thing here, he's got the flames that are adorning the top of his helmet and the back of his tunic that's covered in salamanders for the mythological creature. And then even the horse looks like he's got a little bit of like red up by the mane. Also, this horse looks like it's a very active horse, unlike the other ones where are like the motion and the things that we were looking at in the pentacles were very solid and stationary. Now everything is very fiery and moving quickly. For the summertime, we've got the sunflower and also all of the almost like the sun shining on top of her crown. That's covered also in the lions there. And more sunflowers. So even though the association of the fixed sign for Wands is Taurus, that is a very, like the Leo is a very summery feeling animal. We have the cat, the black cat below. And then again, when we look at this queen in particular and all of the court cards, especially so far, they are all holding their head up very high, looking up, reminding us of that distinction and enterprise that's represented by all of the cards. And that's also, I think, why we see quite a few of the male lion figures, as well as the salamanders. It's also what's covering his robe. Salamanders. So because we have with the male lion really that enterprise and distinction feeling associated. And then the hair or head and also the tunic that the king is wearing is red. So now remember, it's not always distinction and enterprise in a positive way, but we can see like a lot of these cards, people are like looking to their future or they're fighting for their position somehow. So you can really like feel how those two things would tie into somebody or something having to do with like enterprise and distinction, fighting for position. In the beginning especially, and with the court cards, you see quite a bit of people who are like looking to embark or become positive on a new journey. Hey Amanda, nice to see you. No worries. We're just cruising through the wands, checking them out. Pictures worth 1,000 words. Do you guys have any questions on the Rider-Waite, or I'm sorry, the Waite-Smith associations? Yeah, you're welcome. If you do, just let me know. Oh. Hey, Drew, I see you. All right. And if you guys would like to come in the box, then please do. Oh, no worries, no worries. We'll have it all recorded and posted. I hope the training is going well. Lots of Juan's energy for that. That's perfect, you know? Like, his whole job experience is kind of like in the fertility stage. And he's looking for new enterprise and distinction, and so are you. You're moving forward, moving up to a different position and a different place, and he's just embarking on the one there. It's very Wandsy. Very, very Wandsy. All right. The paper keeps blowing away because it's a little bit windy. And I'm going to go use the restroom before I show you guys the other artists' interpretations of the suit of wands. We've got the 20 different decks to go through that we can check out, and that'll help kind of cement and like make the different ideas of the suit penetrate our brain. Okay. Okie dokie. Thanks for the likes, Vincent. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate it. Okay. All right, my friends. So, let's start with the Book of Shadows Tarot. The As Above, So Below. So, the Book of Shadows Tarot by Barbara Moore. And this is the wands. You can see the salamander, so we can we're starting to really see through this whole deck that the spiritual animal is a big element that she brings in to her decks. And then this is, even though it looks, to me, this one looks very spiritual. This group, this one is actually the So Below. So this is the So Below of the two decks. But I do a lot of times link, so because the suit, the whole suit, that was a 2. Because the whole suit of wands is linked with intuition, I would also look at it as the suit of spirituality, the intuitive based spirituality. 3, or I'm sorry, the 5. That was the 4. You can see pretty much everyone has the different elements of the salamander in there. And then the coloring you can still see is very fire element oriented. The 6. Salamanders are pretty frequently, pretty much always associated with the fire element. 7. And then Enterprise and Distinction, I feel like these cards you can really either see the intuitive, spiritual aspect of it or the Enterprise and Distinction in each one. 9. And remember, this is just an introduction to help us get to know the suits before we jump into the meanings of the individual cards. So we'll get to know the suits first, and then we'll get to know the numbers, like all the aces, what they all have in common, all the 2s, all the 3s, all the 4s, and so forth. And then we'll go into the individual cards and all the deeper meanings. Lots of fire energy. And the King. Yeah, I love both the As Above and So Below tarot. I really enjoy. That one is so this one is going to be the As Above portion of the Book of Shadows Tarot. So there's 2 decks. That was the So Below. This one is going to be the As Above. Just the suit of wands. Oops, upside down. So for the suit of wands, for the As Above deck, it goes with the actual element. So it's named the suit of fire. You can see the salamander there in the ace. The 2. Mercury as well. This is this is Hermes, who represents Mercury, which is the alchemical representation. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. The 9. The 10. I love that card. So the Crone of Fire. Actually, there should be the Elemental first. There it is. Elemental, Crone, Mother, Maiden. There we go. Okay. So the Elemental of Fire is the Page. And then the Maiden of Fire is the Knight. Mother of Fire is the Mother. or I'm sorry, the mother of fire is the queen from the maiden mother crone of Hecate. And the crone of fire is the king. One of my favorites. And then for the Ethereal Visions deck, and the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck. The Ace of Wands. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Page, Knight, Queen, and the King. And then the Herbal Tarot. The Ace, we have Yarrow. Basil for the 2. Saffron for the 3. So these are all fennel for the 4. Very common herbs in spell casting and witchcraft. Turmeric for the 5. Like the ones that we use a lot. So they're almost like the enterprise and distinction herbs, like of a lot of herbal witchcraft. Hawthorn for the 6. Wild ginger for the 7. Sassafras for the 8. Bayberry bark for the 9. Prickly ash bark for the 10. Shepherd's purse for the page. Aconite, which is poisonous, for the knight. Raspberry leaf for the queen. And cinnamon for the king. And then the Divine, Tarot of the Divine. I really like this one. So here's the Ace of Wands. So you can see, like, for fertility and enterprise distinction, that all would have a lot to, and fire too, fire element, all have a lot to do with creativity. So this one card, you can really see that illustrated. And then the Two of Wands. The 3. The 4. The 5. The 6. The 7. The 8. The 9. Beautiful card. The 10. the page, the knight, the queen, fire goddess, Pele, very appropriate, and the king, the fire coming from the wings. Okay, and then so the next one we'll do is the Lightseers Tarot. The ace, you can really see the intuition and the fire element in these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7. So again, like it's almost alternating, you know, whether it's the intuition aspect of the wand, the intuition portion of it, or if it's that distinction and enterprise. 9, 10. Oh, hey, Luna. What's up? Hey, love. Feel free to come in the box if you want. Do you want to come in the box? We've gone through the different representations and we're just looking visually at the suit of wands only in some different decks and not going into the full meaning of each card, but just checking out how the different representations that are associated with the entire suit are kind of how we can pick those out as we go through the different decks. There's the knight. Yeah, it's windy, so the picture keeps blowing down. But I can just pull it up on the computer instead. So that every now and then you guys can check out, remember the different representations. Yeah, and the ancient Celtic too, with it being represented by spirit, you can see the spirituality quite a bit there too. That was the king. Okay. We're a third of the way through, over a third of the way through the decks. So this one's going to be the Legend, the Arthurian Tarot. Keeper of Words is the guidebook. The Grail Lands is the Ace. Bedivere and Kay is the 2. Oh, and in this one we have spears instead of wands. The Horse Fair is the 3. Lacote Maleteo and Maledicent is the 4. We can see a lot of similarities, like instead of the outside of a wedding, this one kind of looks like the inside. And that's a big deal with the enterprise and distinction of your life. It was your wedding day. Okay, Pursuit of Igraine for the 5. The Return of Ambrosius for the 6. The Arch of 12 Kings for the 7. The White Hart for the 8. Wind Harps of War for the 9. The Green Knight for the 10. The Hare for the Page. The Knight is Bedivere. Dindrain is the queen. And King Pellinor is the king. So the Enterprise, Distinction, Summer element, the fire elements. Next we'll check out Black Cat's Tarot. This one is so cute. So the Ace, that creativity we can see in that one. The 2, the 3. Getting this card, like that picture could mean Enterprise and Distinction. The cat getting to the top of the hill. The 4. The 5. The 6. The 7. Oops. The 8 of Wands. The 9. The 10. Oh wait, this is the Knight. The Page. The Knight. Queen. And the King of Wands for the Black Cat's Tarot. And then the next one, we'll do the Dark Wood Tarot. The Ace. You can really see the fire element, the spirit. 2. Intuition. 3. 4. The 5. The 6. This one too, she's got a baby for the fertility. 7. The 8. Beautiful card. 9. The 10. The Page. The Knight. The Queen. The King. Ooh, I got the wind outside and the fan on high. And I was just like, you know what, Candle? It's just hot. You're going to have to do the best you can. It's champion. Champion for our fire suit. Thank you, fire elementals, for your blessing on our study group. Tarot Illuminati next. This one's very pretty. The Ace of Wands. 2. All the Enterprise and Distinction you can really see throughout here a lot. The 3. The 4. The 5. The 6. The 7. The 8. The 9. The 10. princess, which is the page, the prince or the knight, the queen, and the king. So that was the Illuminati Tarot, and next we'll do Orion's Tarot deck. It's a cute animal one. All the different cards have like an animal on them. Ace, 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, Manatee, the 8, the 9, the 10, very happy beaver, the page, the knight. Dolphins often represent intuition. The queen, and the king. So that was Orion's Tarot deck. Next we're going to do Spellcaster's Tarot. This one's very pretty too. The Ace, 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. Okay. That was the Spellcaster's Tarot. Now we're going to do Witch's Tarot. The Ace. Beautiful card. 2, 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, 9, 10, the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. So that was Witch's Tarot. And this is Tarot of the Divine Masculine. We've got the Ace, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, the Page, the Knight, the Keeper, which is the Queen, and the King. And then that was the Divine Masculine Tarot of the Divine Masculine, sorry. And then we'll do the Santa Muerte Tarot, Vincent's favorite. Starting with the Ace. Wow, we've really got the fire elements coming out in those colors. The 2, and the enterprise and distinction. That's the overall key to the suit. The 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, the Page, the Knight, the Queen, the fire there, and the King. Beautiful cards. 3 decks left. So that was Santa Muerte. This one is Crystal Visions Tarot. Oops, where's the Ace? There it is. Okay. So this one is gorgeous. There's the Ace. The 2. The 3. The 4. The 5. The 6. The 7. The 8. The 9. The 10. The Page. The Knight. The Queen. And the King. So the animals in that one pretty much were all like very status, enterprise, and distinction oriented. Like the key to the suit. The Muse Tarot we'll check out next. Luna, if you're still here, this is your favorite, or one of your favorites. So for this one, they call the wands inspiration, which makes sense with how it's represented by intuition and spirit and enterprise and distinction. If you are somebody who has distinction, the background, no. Oh, in the window, probably. Yeah, the birds fly in the window. But there's no birds in the house. They're outside the window. So the fire element of all of that creativity as well all ties into inspiration, but really that element of distinction and enterprise makes you an inspiration. So there's the ace, the 2, the 3, 4, very intuitive card, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the page, the knight, the queen, and the muse instead of the king. Beautiful. And the last deck we're going to check out before we check out your guys' decks, if you'd like, is the Tarot. So that was the Muse deck we just looked at, and this is Tarot in Wonderland. So part of the reason I got Tarot in Wonderland was because it's by Barbara Moore, who's the same person who did the Book of Shadows Tarot. So I have a few Barbara Moore decks because I think she's awesome. Okay, so this is the Ace of Wands for the Wonderland in Tarot, or the Tarot in Wonderland. 2, 3, 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, the page, the knight, the queen, and the King of Wands. All right. So do you guys have any questions, or do you have any decks that you want to show us? So at this point, if nobody has any other decks for showing, what I would do is take one or the whole pile of the suit of wands that's in your tarot deck, whatever kind of tarot deck you have, and then as you're holding and looking at the card or cards, keep in mind especially that key, the main idea that's going to go with the whole suit of enterprise and distinction, like reputation, enterprise and distinction. So as you're looking at the card, just keep saying that, or the cards, keep repeating that in your head, enterprise and distinction. And once it's really cemented in there, then take the card or cards, hold it up to your third eye, which is right in the middle of your forehead, or it's also called your inner eye, and just silently think enterprise and distinction as you're slowly breathing in and out. And keep thinking enterprise and distinction, the key to the suit of wands, as you'll have the card or cards held up to your third eye or inner eye. So you want to do that until you really feel like it's penetrated and you don't even have to think about it. The two are cemented together. And once that's done, think about the feeling of enterprise and distinction. You've been thinking about the thought process associated. So now take that thought process and switch it to how that feels. Enterprise and distinction, how that feels to you, and that feeling going all the way through your body. Center it into your solar plexus, which is right below your rib cage, in the center of your body, right below your rib cage. So take that feeling of enterprise and distinction, intuition, fire element, the different associations that we talked about. Take that feeling, have it centered right in your solar plexus, in the middle, just below your rib cage, and then take the card or cards and hold it up to your solar plexus and continue to feel the feeling of enterprise and distinction, the key to the tarot suit of wands. And as you're feeling that, every time you breathe deeply in, bring your breath into that solar plexus area. As you're feeling the enterprise and distinction, what does that feel like to you? Feel it through your whole body, radiating out from that center spot of your solar plexus as you hold the card or cards to that spot. And then once you have that feeling really penetrated, you can continue to look through the cards in the deck and see how, when you go through each one, really cement that enterprise and distinction main key, as well as kind of the other elements that are associated with the suit, so that it just comes easily to you. And that's it. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. And that's all I got. What do you guys got? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to do now? Do you have any questions? Do you want to take another look at anything? If you would, just let me know. I'm here for it. I'm here for you. I hope that was enlightening, especially since it was a fire element suit of wands that's supposed to be represented partially by intuition and an intellectual human personality type. I feel like enlightening would be appropriate. And then on Friday, we have the suit, our last suit to cover. Last but not least, the suit of wands. I'm sorry, we did the suit of wands today. We're doing the suit of cups on Friday. So let the wands sink in till then, and we'll start the waterworks day after tomorrow. Yeah, and that's why we're doing it like this, you know. We'll go through the suits, then we'll go through the numbers, and then we'll go through the individual cards. And that way, when we talk about the meanings of each card individually, you'll completely understand why it means those things. Because when you put the number association together with the suit key, you have the individual meaning.